Welcome to Wisdom for the Day. Today is day 44. We are in the 5th chapter of Proverbs, verses 8 through 12, from the New Living Translation. Stay away from her. Don't go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor, and will lose to merciless people all you have achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and someone else will enjoy the fruit of your labor. In the end, you will groan in anguish when disease consumes your body. You will say, "How I hated discipline. If only I had not ignored all the warnings." So in verse 8, Solomon advises his son should not even meet the married woman. Solomon's son must be very careful, and he should not enter her house. He's told he shouldn't even walk near her door. Because if the son walks near her door, then he might enter. And if he enters, he might listen to her, because her speech to him is so attractive. She'll tempt him. And if he listens to her, he might want to have sex with her. Solomon's father, David, had a similar experience in 2 Samuel, verse 11 and 12. From a distance, he saw a beautiful woman. She was having a bath, naked. I guess that's how you have baths. David didn't look away. If he'd looked away, he'd avoided many troubles. But instead, David watched the woman. He went and got a servant to call her. And she was married. But she came to David, and David talked with her. And they even had a baby together. David tried to hide his actions. He even caused the woman's husband to die in battle. Then David married the woman. Now, God knew what David had done. David's older sons fought David because of his evil deed. The baby, who is David's youngest son, died. Now, God didn't kill David for his evil deeds. It's because David turned to God. David asked God to forgive him, and his prayer is in Psalm 51. Later, David and the same woman had another son. The second son was Solomon, who wrote the book of Proverbs. In verses 9 and 10, a young man should not waste his strength with another man's wife. He should use his strength wisely, and when he marries, perhaps he'll have his own family. We need to be careful with our strength. We should use our strength for good things and not for evil. Our energy is precious, and our time is valuable. Now in verse 11, I'm going to set up the next group of verses for tomorrow. And these verses teach us the result if we live for our desires. In the end, our wrong desires will ruin us, and they'll bring us to despair. All throughout Proverbs, there's instructions for people not to follow the ways of the wicked. Like not getting sucked into drugs and alcohol. My problem was that I hated the sinner instead of loving the sinner and hating the sin. I made some remarks as a young minister that it's kind of embarrassing now, years and years later. But Lord, remember not the sins of my youth and help me forget them. In the Proverbs passage, remove your way far from her. Again, her is the adulteress. And just like I talked about yesterday, adultery is an equal opportunity sin for males and females, men and women. If you remove yourself from a known adulterer, then you won't commit adultery with that person. And it's wise to remove yourself from that situation or any situation that gives you an opportunity to sin. Let me ask you this. There are other ways to give away your honor to others besides adultery. Is your honor in danger? Well, that's all for today, but I'll be back tomorrow. But if you just miss me so much and have to hear my voice, remember to go to wisdomfortheday.org. You can check out all the past episodes. And if you like this show, do me a favor, please. Tell someone about it. You can share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But really what works best is if you send them a link by text. Because you can add a note and say, I really enjoy this show, and I think you would too. You have a lot more influence than you believe you do. Until tomorrow, I'm Rick. I love you. See ya.